waterfall. Presumably, you spend about half your time on the land and half your time in the water.
Well, I don't really spend a lot of time in the water. I use it for getting about. I can only stay under for 20 seconds. And I live in the banks, which is quite nice because I've got lots of lush vegetation all along the side of the bank. But it helps me keep invisible because I like to hide out a bit. So I use the water to patrol my territory. If I'm frightened by something, I make a loud plop and then I do a deep dive into the water. And that might be because there's people around making loud noises, or there's a dog jumped in the water, and I really don't like that happening. I get so frightened. And when I get down into the water, I kick up some of the sediment to make a sort of cloud so they can't see me. So I'm not swimming around in the water for fun.
Are there any other animals in the river that you admire?
I don't mind the coots. They're a bit aggressive and noisy sometimes, but they're not going to go after me. I like the moorhens. They're nice and peaceful and quiet, and they're okay. Kingfishers, they're great to see. But I think waterfoals are the tops, because we've survived in this country millions of years and we've had everything thrown at us. It's so hard to survive. It's a tough life being a waterfowl. I tell you, it's so tough.
Are you vegetarian?
Yeah, I'm a herbivore. I eat so many different things. A lot of it is grasses and sedges and herbs. I love the ones that flower like water crowfoot. They've got this lovely flowers and pollen on them. And that has got lots of fats and protein in it, which is very, very nourishing for me, particularly when I'm feeding my babies. In the winter, I eat woodier material, because when I'm chomping through the bank to make a new burrow system, I'm coming across roots, and I'll eat those as well. So roots and tubers are starchy and full of goodness. Tree bark, I do a bit of that as well. I climb up into trees sometimes and have a nibble. I'm not fussy because I've got some really big gnashers, so basically I can chomp my way through almost anything. There are times, though, when I will eat water snails, tiny fish, very rarely, but water snails, definitely a thing that I wouldn't mind snacking on.
So really you're a pescatarian?
No, this is rare. We don't make a habit of it, let's say that.
You're an endangered species in Britain. Who are your predators?
From the air, we've got owls, we've got pike, will come at us from underneath. Stoats and weasels, they're good swimmers. They'll go after us. But our biggest threat now is that we have a niche predator, which is the American mink. And a female, if she's raising a family, her kits are able to demolish a whole colony of watervoles because she's exactly the right size to get into my little burrow entrance, which is a couple of inches across. She can just wipe us out.
Would we miss you if your species disappeared altogether?
I think really people miss us already. I used to be one of the sweetest sights along a riverbank because I have to say what I do when I collect my food, I take it to a little haul-out platform and I sit on my haunches and hold my food until I chomp my way through. And I have to do a lot of chomping and swimming across the river to find other bits of food, foraging around. I was one of the delights of the riverbank.
Who digs the burrow? How does that work? Do you do it on your own or do you...
We all put in time in the digging. We have a burrow system that's got lots and lots of different entrances below the waterline, on the waterline, further up the bank, and then we even have a little hole on the top of the riverbank, up in the grass, and that's so when I've got new babies, I'm able to pop up out of that hole, have a quick nibble around, and I create a little lawn on the flat top of the riverbank. But I need all those entrances so that I can have tunnels leading off to food chambers. I also have bolt holes as well, where I can just have a little place where I can pop off and hide out. All of those chambers that we have and those tunnels at different levels are there to cope with the rising and falling water. But sometimes it overwhelms us and goes right to the brink, to the top of the riverbank or the stream bank. Then we can't survive. We've lost our little chambers with the air pockets. It's time to move on.
And you have more toes on your back feet than your front feet, and you have quite strong-looking orange teeth. Are these all tools that you use to make your burrow? Why have you got more toes on the back feet?
Well, I've got some really impressive incisors, those front teeth. They're bright orange and they keep growing. But I can actually dig into the soil with those, and I kick out the soil to make a new tunnel with my big, strong back feet. So those back feet have got lots of work to do. Because I do a lot of climbing up and down the bank, sometimes up and down a willow tree, I need to be able to anchor myself nice and strongly with that big toe that sticks out on my hind foot.
Is there anything else unusual about you that we might not know?
I think what's very unusual about me is that people have the chance to see me during the daytime, because I am active through the day. I have little bursts of activity, but most mammals, you wouldn't see them at all in the day. So you could actually see me, and I think I complete the perfect scene on the riverbank.
If you had a message for us, what would it be?
You humans have taken over everything, and you've pushed me to the brink of extinction because of the way that you live. You've changed the rivers and the streams. But quite simply as well, if you don't want to think about those big issues, you might just think, when you're taking your dog for a walk along the river, think of all those fragile little lives. Think of all the water voles. Think of the moorhens and the coots and the ducklings that are trying to have a life, and keep your dog out of the water.